Here's my yearly check-in. This is a meme at this point. I went back to booktube beginnings. I am basically HBO Max. We rebranded and then we're going back because Cat's Beginnings is a little too hard to find my channel whenever I tell people. So I think Booktube Beginnings was like a little easier to find me. So we're going back. We're just gonna keep it the way it was. This past year, I moved out again, but I'm living with my boyfriend this time. So I'm away from my parents, or I guess my mom. In like September, I moved out. We are in like the suburbs now. You guys know I lived in the city for like my whole life and it's so weird, but I'm getting used to it. Kind of, sort of. I live in Philly and I'm not too far from Philly, so that's good. I still see my mom all the time. And then in September, like September 21st, I had a heart surgery and that went really well. I wasn't doing too hot like for like most of the year. I have like a heart condition that's called tetralogy of flow, and I went to see the doctor in like around February. I think that's when I stopped filming videos because I was just, that news really just like not shocked me, because I knew that eventually I would have to get heart surgery again, just knowing that like, yeah, you need it, and to schedule that and all that was a lot. We scheduled the heart surgery for September came. It was through like catheters, so they didn't do like open heart, so my recovery was actually pretty quick. It was about like a week and a half of recovery, and then I started feeling like normal. You know, we moved here. I got a job as a dog walker, which is like a dream job. Like, I love that job so much. New Year's hits. New Year's Eve. My plans were just to go to see Stranger Things in the movie theaters. I was taking a shower to go get ready. I slipped in the shower, hit my head on the toilet, and concussion. Which I didn't know at the time. I went to the doctors right away and they just gave me Tylenol and sent me on my way. And then I was still like experiencing headaches. I went to work that Monday and my headaches were really bad. So I told my boss, I'm like, hey, like, I don't know if I can continue. I need to go. She sent me home and I went to urgent care, which then took me to the emergency room, and then realized I had a concussion the whole time and no one properly diagnosed me the first time. Today's probably the first day that I feel normal. It's January 12th, so it's been about almost 2 weeks since the concussion. I'm still getting headaches. I still can't read physically, so no one tells you that you like, well, I guess I wouldn't look up things about a concussion unless I had a concussion, but you cannot read. And I've tried. My brain literally, like, it feels like if I'm looking at like a super hard math equation, like the easiest words, like they just don't process, and if they do process, it will trigger a headache. And that's like all I've been getting since I fell, is headaches. Enough blabbering, let's get to why we're here. I read 48 books this year. These are all the physical books that I read on my TBR, which is not a lot. Like, it's just this row and that's it. All my books were in boxes, as you know. So I relied on Libby. I relied on my Kindle Unlimited and Audible, Spotify, and my library for most of my reading. So these are all the books that I read, I guess, before I moved, and then the last two I bought after the move, so that's why I have them physically. So I read 7 books in January. So the first book I read this year, Rain by Catherine McGee. It's the final book in the American Royals series. Completed the series. This is about if George Washington was king and not president, and we follow his family to like today being like the royals, the American royals. Get it? Yeah, I gave this 3 stars. It was okay. I also think I was just like really aging out of this series, but I stuck with it. I really liked it and it was cute. The second book I read was The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I gave this a solid 4 stars. The next book I read was Iron Flame. I think I like this more than Fourth Wing, because I remember I didn't like Fourth Wing too much. It had me in the beginning, but then it kind of lost me. And then I really like this one. I gave this one 4 stars. Yeah, everyone knows what Fourth Wing is about. It's just like war college. You have dragons. It's like a romantasy, so you have some like romance. Very, very good series. The next book I ended up reading was The Inmate. I gave The Inmate 3 stars. I read that on my Kindle. I thought it was interesting. It was a solid 3 stars. The next book I ended up reading was Big Little Lies by, who is that by? by Liane Moriarty. I read that because I wanted to see the show, and the funny thing is I still haven't finished the show, so whatever. It was okay. I think I gave that one 3 stars as well. I don't know, I gave 4 stars. I guess I really liked it. I don't really remember too much of it, but I'm just going off of my Goodreads rating. But I think thinking back on it, I'd probably give it 3 stars because it didn't really stick with me. I probably liked it for what it was at the time and just really enjoyed the story and the twist, and it's, you know, it's suburban moms and some drama going on with that. Always fun. The next book was my first 5-star book of the year, and I actually vlogged the experience, so I will link that vlog down below. But I read One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my gosh, I had the best time. I don't have the physical copy because I think I lent it to my nephew and I just haven't gotten it back yet, but it is one of my favorite books, I think, of all time, not just of the year. Very interesting story, lots of quotes about love and what it really means, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I read is Onyx Storm. I have the Target edition because it's really pretty. I was very hyped up for this book. I also think Book Talk hype might have gotten to me with this because I even was like outside Target early in the morning trying to get this copy. I genuinely enjoyed this one. I think I've been liking them more and more as they keep on going on, so I gave this one 4 stars. Yeah, I can't say too much, but I enjoyed this. That was all the books I read in January. Alright, so then we move on to February. In February, I read 6 books. First book that I read in February was The Path to Loving Him. This book, this series, I think that wrapped up the series. It was the Almond Bay series, but genuinely I think one of my favorite like Megan Quinn series that I read from her so far. That one was 4 stars. The next book I had a physical copy of, but I decided to donate it, not because I didn't like the book, just needed space on my shelves. Obviously I got some space. I felt like it was just something that I wouldn't reread. I got what I got from it and I can move on, you know. And that was Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I know this is like a really beloved book and I really did enjoy it. I just wasn't like in love with it. I think I got what I needed to get from it. So the next book I read was The Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren. I gave this one 4 stars. I honestly, these short stories do not stay in my mind for long. I think I was trying to read them for like Valentine's Day and stuff. It was good. It was fine. I just don't remember too much of what it was about. The next book I ended up reading is Better Than the Movies. I really enjoyed this. For it being young adult, this felt like the ultimate teen rom-com movie. So I read more of these short stories. Worst Ringman Ever is by Abby Jimenez and Rosie and the Dreamboat was by Sally Thorne. I gave both of them 4 stars. I know one of them had to do with elevator scene, and I vividly remember a firefighter and a girl stuck in an elevator. I don't know which one that one is. Oh, it was. Okay, so it was Rosie and the Dreamboat. That one I like remember the most of. So if you were to read any of the short stories, probably Rosie and the Dreamboat is your best bet by Sally Thorne. The next book is another one that I have a vlog for, From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Finally, you have been read. I was so intimidated by the size of this book, whether I was gonna like it because it was fantasy. But honestly, I think as you'll see as we keep going with the list of books that I read, my intimidations for long books have subsided and I genuinely feel like I like them more. This one, however, I did give 3 stars. My ice maker. I was genuinely surprised because I was so terrified and I had nothing to be scared of. You will see in that vlog like the beginning stages of me being so scared and then realizing like, hey, like it's okay, you have nothing to worry about. We follow Poppy and then we follow Hawk. Poppy is a maiden and she's not to be seen or touched, and I believe Hawk is one of her bodyguards. If I'm remembering correctly, please be remembering correctly. This was a good read for sure. I really enjoyed it. Recommend, and I do want to continue on with the series. I just gotta get them because I don't own them. That was all the books that I read in February. In March, I've read 4 books. The first book I read in March, surprised I read this in March, but Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I think it was getting a lot of hype, and maybe that's why I read it. I gave it 4.5 stars, and I wrote this book was amazing. So I agree. This book was amazing. This is the one where they meet on like a Reddit thread where they talk about every person that they date. After they date them, they find the person they love. And I think that's why I wanted to read it so much, because I felt like I had the same curse for so long before I got into my relationship that I am in now. I also just equate that to me getting older and everyone's just settling down now. But before, like, I genuinely thought I had this curse. So these two tried to date each other to cancel it out. It was a fun time. The next book I read was Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice from Murderers. This was so fun. I know that there's more in the series. I want to own them because I think they're just hilarious. A murder has taken place in Vera Wong's tea shop, and she's got to be the lead detective because the cops and the detectives are not doing anything right according to Vera. We follow like a cast of characters. This is very found family, something that's very light and fun. Okay, so the next book I read was The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This was my first Catherine Center book. I gave it 4.5. He's the celebrity and she's the bodyguard. Please read it. It's really good. The next book I read was A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman. This was also my first Frederick Bachman book, and I gave this 3 stars. This is about a grumpy old man. New neighbors move in. His life gets shaken up. Frederick Bachman writes stories that are just human. There was also a film adaptation called A Man Called Otto. It was definitely like Americanized. I think he's from Sweden, Frederick Bachman, and all his books are Swedish, so they get translated. But I really did enjoy the movie, and Tom Hanks is in it, so like even better. Now, I didn't read anything for April or May, but June I read Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and that's the first book in the series. We do follow a character from Just for the Summer. Say You'll Remember Me, I gave 4 stars. Really enjoyed that one as well. I haven't gotten to a place where I've been obsessed with an Abby Jimenez book besides Part of Your World. So they've all been like really good, but not like 5 stars for me. But I still will buy anything that she writes. That was the only book I read in June. July, I read 2 books. It was Expiration Date by Rebecca Sorrell. She gets a note about her relationships, so she'll find out how many weeks or months or years she'll be with somebody before they start dating. This new guy that she meets, she gets a note with his name, but there's no like number. So she's like, is he the one? Like, I'm about to meet my future husband, one I'm gonna settle down with. How do I even go about that? I love the magic realism in this, how it's just real life with like a little dash, a little twist, a little something different that wouldn't happen. The next book after that I read was Done and Dusted. I read this, I believe, on my Kindle because my books were put away. This is just, you know, my first cowboy romance. What did I give this? I don't remember. I gave it 4 stars. This was my first cowboy romance, and I think I will continue with this series. I'm gonna be honest, it's not hugely memorable. I remember like some scenes. This was Done and Dusted. Then in August, I only read 1 book, and that was Summer in the City by Alex Astor. That was the first book I ever read by her, and I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was okay. I think I was just like trying to force myself to read at this point because I was like, oh my god, summer books, romance. I need to read all the summer books now. Yeah, I shouldn't have forced myself to read. I think if I didn't and I was in a better headspace, it probably would have been higher. Yeah, September I read 2 books. So the first book I read in September was Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. This was about 2 brothers. We follow them after their dad has passed, and it's just them dealing with that. It's not really a story of grief, I would say. Like, it's not much plot in this. It's almost like you're a fly in the wall to these boys' lives and how they're dealing with it. And I think they're like really far in age. They're like 10 years apart. So that was also like an interesting aspect. I gave it 4 stars. It was good. Okay. My first low rating ever. Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonin Young. This was probably my most disappointed read. I wanted to like it so bad. I read Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonin Young and I believe I gave that 5 stars, if not 4 stars, but I genuinely still think about that book. This one, they're high school sweethearts and they're like well into their marriage, but they're having like problems, and so they go on this like couples retreat. Yeah, I did not enjoy it, and I know a lot of people have enjoyed it. This just was not for me at all. I gave it 2 stars. I don't want to harp on it too much. October, I knew I wanted to get out of the romance after Out of the Woods. I read Stay Awake by Megan Golding, and this book hooked me from like the first chapter. We follow a unreliable narrator, a girl who every time she goes to sleep she like has amnesia and she like wakes up in some like weird situations. It was generally so good. It was like 4 stars and it reminded me why I love thrillers. The next book, and I think this is what kickstarted my reading again because I was kind of slumpy. October I ended up reading 9 books. So yeah, Stay Awake definitely was tribute to that. Also what was tribute to that was Project Hail Mary. I listened to this book on Audible. I was so good I had to buy a copy. My boyfriend's currently reading it and he's really enjoying it, and I wanted him to read it so that we can see the movie together with Ryan Gosling when it comes out. This is about a guy who wakes up with no memory. Here we go with the memory thing. And he's in a spaceship and he's in space and he has to just figure out like what happened, why am I here, what's happening, and his memories start coming back. But it is so good, and I'm not a sci-fi girly, and I think a lot of people who are not sci-fi people still really like this book. So it's a testament to Andy Weir and his writing because genuinely it is so good. Okay, so the next book I ended up reading was Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Roerich. This is a romantasy. I would look up trigger warnings. I'm not so affected by this book. I know people always say to like look up trigger warnings when it comes to this, so I will too. So it says, of all the worlds and life they created, the gods favored their children the most. But with their favor came the fear that their legacy would one day become too powerful and overthrow them. Devrim was created a realm hidden amongst the stars. The gods gave their legacy the best of all the worlds, and then they left a sworn agreement to never return and to never interfere. Forced to a life of servitude, the Fae are required to provide for the legacy in more ways than one. Every 5 years, the eligible Fae are gathered for this election and assigned to serve in one of the 6 kingdoms, to be chosen as their personal source for the kingdom heir. This has so many twists, so many turns. You think you know something, then it's revealed that something is different. I don't want to say too much, but definitely read it. It's probably going to be one of my favorite series. The next couple books were those short stories for Halloween. They like scary romance stories. I read Hot for Slayer by Ali Hazelwood, Falling by Christina Lauren, Spicy Little Curse by J.T. Gassner, Space Vampire by Ruby Dixon, My Boyfriends Are All Monsters by Kimberly Lemming, and Beautiful Nightmare by Kate Robert. They were all around 2 to 4 stars. I think only 2 of them made it to 4 stars. They're kind of just like fillers. After that, we move into November. I read 5 books in November. I read The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I got this book from the library and I needed to buy it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I wrote, this was so good. I couldn't care less about figure skating, but I've never been so invested. Lane Fargo, that is talent. The book I read after that was Storm of Secrets and Sorrow. This was the 2nd book in the Legacy series. I enjoyed that one as well. I gave it 4.5. I said I enjoy this book just as much as the first one, maybe even more. I love when I can find a fantasy series that I actually understand and genuinely enjoy, and this series delivers on both. These books are over like 600 pages. I been reading them on my Kindle, and so they never felt like that. I like am eating them up. They're so good. The next book I read, and the last physical book I have, is Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This was fun. I think I gave this 5 stars, yeah. Okay, so I've only ever read Bride. This is the sequel to Bride. I think I like this one more than Bride. This was so fun. I need to get into her like other work because I know this is different from what she usually writes, but she can write a good romance. Wolfmance. These are about werewolves and yeah, paranormal romance. It's very good. Please just trust me on it. It's really good, but you have to read Bride first. I will stand on that. So the next book I ended up reading was Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal by Megan Quinn. I genuinely was looking forward to this. It held up. It has been getting like bad reviews. I don't care. I really enjoyed it. I really like Megan Quinn. These Christmas books will get me every time. I will eat them up. I was listening and doing my diamond painting. I literally was like just laughing out loud. So when a book can make me laugh out loud, you got me. The next book I read was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Y'all, don't hate me. I gave this 3 stars. I thought it was just okay. Please don't hate me. I read 10 books in December. This book I read was Picnic Energy. I never hated a main character more than I hated this main character. She was supposed to be like in her late 20s or early 30s, something like that. She acted like she was a teenager and she was the mom of like 2 kids. Oh my god. She irked me to no end. So 2 stars. The next book I read was Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. Now this one was fun. I gave it 3 stars, but like a good 3 stars. It kind of like a take on Scrooge, but romance. That's all I want to say about that. But then we read the short stories. So we have No Place Like Home by Laura Pavlov, Marion Bray by Ali Rosen, and All Wrapped Up in You by Rosie Duran. I didn't even rate them. I didn't even bother to. I'm not going to now. The next book I read after that was Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This one I gave a 4.75. Oh my gosh. Frederick Bachman strikes again. He can do no wrong. Again, with his books, they're very human. This one is, we follow a bank robber gone wrong, but it's not even about that. You have like such found family in these books, which I really love. If you are like a character-based book reader, that you like have to enjoy the characters, you like a development, they're not like 2D flat characters for you. Like these are real people, they feel human. Frederick Bachman is your guy. I might just bump it up to 5 stars right now because it's really good. The next book I read was In 5 Years by Rebecca Sorrell. We follow this girl. She goes to take a nap. She randomly like wakes up 5 years into the future and she's in a different apartment. She's not with the person that she's currently with. And she's just like trying to figure out like what happened. She's only there for an hour and it doesn't happen again. Follow her for 5 years leading up to that point and like what happened or how it happened. Let's just say everything is not what it seems. This was really like a solid read. I thought that I would like it more and I don't understand why I didn't and why it wasn't a higher rating, because it's totally up my alley, totally up there. Like I can't even put my finger on it, but it has stuck with me and I still like will recommend it to people because I think it is really good. This book is about life and how things like don't always go as we plan, and you know, our main character was like someone who planned her life to the T, and it really shook her up to like wake up 5 years in the future and it's not what she thought. The next book I read was Tempest of Wrath and Vengeance. This one is also from the Legacy series. I didn't like this one as much. It still was 4 stars, but I liked it because of the characters, but this one was a little, it was still good. It was good. I think it just wasn't hitting like the first 2 were for me. Next book I read was I think my first 1 star ever. I have to like verify. I'll put it here to let you know. But Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Teresa. Oh my god, I'm totally butchered that. I'm so sorry. I get what the book was trying to do, but I did not need to read that. Oh, the puppy scene? No. I almost DNF'd there. I wanted to follow it through, but oh my god. It was good writing. It was just, The last book I read of the year was Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood, and this one was just okay. I think it's only like on audio, so this was a short audio book that I can just pop in while I was like getting ready for the day. I might bump it down to 2 stars. I am. It was not memorable at all. It was just okay. That was all the books that I read for the year 2025. That was 48 bucks. In 2026, this year, I will be trying to read 49 books. You know, I do one more than what I read previously. Thank you so much for watching. If you did watch, I appreciate you so much. This is going to be a pain to edit. It's going to be a lot of sessions, but we will get it up. I will see you in another video, hopefully. Bye.